Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing over there?
Hey, I'm fantastic. How are you?
Oh, it's Friday. I mean, if it's any better, there'd have to be 3 or 4 of me to get all the joy to go around, you know? Coming up on the program today, you're going to discover that it is Friday the 13th. That's
My lucky day.
The black cat is out of the bag now. Also, because of that, we reached out to Wendy Brotherlin. She's got a book called Freaks of Nature. And I thought this was the perfect fit for Friday the 13th. So we've had a chance to visit with her in the past, but we've got her back on the program today for this Friday the 13th. Ooh. Also, hey, a new study says we tend to spend more money if we go shopping when we're sad. I definitely do that, especially if I'm shopping for food. I'm going to eat the pain away. And according to a different new study, nearly a quarter of British men and women said they would give up chocolate for 6 months in return for a 50-inch plasma TV.
Really?
Would you do that?
No.
I would.
No.
For a nice big TV, I'd give up chocolate for 6 months.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, no problem. Got some special things happening today. We'll tell you what those happen to be on the way.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
You act like you care right now. I thought you'd never ask. It's Friday the 13th, Friday, May the 13th. It is Blame Someone Else Day. And you know who I blame?
Me?
Someone else. It is also Crouton Day today. It is Fintastic Friday, giving sharks a voice. It is Jumping Frog Day today. And it is Hummus Day today. Now, I'm not necessarily a hummus fan because I've never tried hummus. I just saw the look on your face when you tried hummus. And you're like, you should try it. I'm like, I don't think so. I saw that look. It's not that bad. I'm like, that's not what your face just told me. Your face told me that was awful. There's a hummus chip and some hummus dip. It's like, what happened? Did you guys lose a bet or something? Why do we have this? I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I could tell. Anyway, and don't forget, again, it's Friday the 13th. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we're giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like, with designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at winthisonline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at winthisonline.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Exactly what does it mean to have a jury of your peers? Love this story. The Weekly World News reports from Tailgate, Kentucky, a judge recently ruled that a man suspected of stealing cars was entitled to a jury of his peers, namely other car thieves. Hank Jumpstart Ford, 29, was arrested and charged with stealing a 1998 red Camaro. The case took an unusual twist when Ford's lawyer, Fred Scottsboro, filed a motion saying that according to the Constitution, Mr. Ford is entitled to a trial by a jury of his peers. That meant other car thieves. As at first, Judge Hank Goss said, I don't know, I think I'm going to deny this motion. But surprisingly, Judge agreed. The county issued a jury summons to all convicted car thieves in a 50-mile radius.
Are you kidding?
Including some who were still in prison. Ford took the stand and testified that he had stole the car because he, quote, really liked it and, quote, couldn't afford to buy one.
Oh, my gosh.
The jurors all nodded sympathetically like, yeah, I get it. After both sides rested, the jury deliberated for 12 minutes before finding Ford not guilty.
Are you kidding me?
Afterward, Judge Goss, the prosecutor, and even Scottsboro all reported their cars were missing. So when the court case was done, everybody stole a car and left.
Wow. Well, if that's all it takes to get off of the charge, then yeah.
Oh, they all go out, oh, somebody took my car.
That is
somebody took my car.
insane.
So, not guilty. Why not? Well, he really liked it and he couldn't afford to buy one. I get it. I don't think that's a good idea, but
No.
you know, hats off to that quick thinking attorney.
Oh, my.
He's like, whoa, we should have a jury of his peers. We better find some more car thieves. There you go. Well, it didn't work out so good. Even that attorney who came up with that knucklehead plan, his car was stolen too. All right, coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. But this one, you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Nancy Drew ain't got nothing on Newcastle, Delaware family. They set up a trap to catch joyriders who were taking the family SUV out for a spin. Police say the owners figured somebody was using their Acura MD in the middle of the night. Owners repeatedly smelled gas and marijuana in their vehicle, so the family rigged the SUV with a motion sensor and an alarm. Next time it was driven away, the owner called the police. Newcastle police reported busting a pair of 18-year-olds. Officers said the young men had been using a spare set of keys they found in the unlocked car, and they just decided to go for rides in the middle of the night.
Wow.
So they weren't causing no problems other than smoking that marijuana and stealing that car. Other than that, everything was perfectly legal.
You're bringing it back.
Yeah. So there you go. That's really clever how they came up with a way to catch them in the act.
There you go.
Kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Remember when this used to be a free country?
Yes. Fondly.
Take a listen to this. We demand our rights in a free country. We demand the right to be socialists. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense because think about if you actually had that right, you wouldn't have the right to have that right. Anyway, I'm going to read to you what happened. Some high school students were banned from wearing socialist armbands to school, and now they're screaming for their right to free speech. The school district finally did allow the students to wear the armbands after lawyers said banning the symbols, the red stars on the black backgrounds, infringes the students' First Amendment right to free expression. It all started when a school bus driver complained about the symbol. Once the armbands were banned, the socialist teens decided to act like Americans again and began demanding their free speech rights. Now they're calling their victory a triumph for free speech at high schools. According to Jennifer St. Clair, 16, she says, "This shows that just because we're students, we're not going to just roll over if somebody tramples on our rights." She probably doesn't sound like that. She asked for help to pass out flyers, and she had red stars after her friends were asked to remove the armbands. Let's recap. Teenagers want to celebrate socialism.
Wow.
But if they're treated as socialists were being treated, like they were, having their free rights taken away, they all of a sudden want to act like Americans to get the right to go back to being socialists. Am I following all of that right?
That's awful.
I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. They're like, we have the right. Yeah, because you've got freedom. But we want to be socialist. We want the right to be socialist. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't know. I got a headache thinking about it. Let's move on. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. British officials are going against the will of the people in Britain. Their science minister discarded the results of a public poll that embraced Bodie McBoatface as the name of a $300 million research festival. Instead of naming the ship for named famed naturalist Sir David Attenborough, more than 124,000 voters in an online poll said it should be called Bodie McBoatface. It's set up by Britain's Natural Environment Research Council. More than 10 times the 11,000 votes. They got way more votes than they were expected.
That's what I would have voted for, too.
Jojo Johnson torpedoed the name, saying that research ship is the largest and most advanced British ship in history. It needs a more suitable name than Bodie McBoatface. So, well, you don't give me the option. If that's the option, you know what's going to happen.
That's so funny.
A passenger on a flight in Spain reportedly threatened to detonate a bomb because the flight attendant wouldn't give him more beer. I think we talked about that already. All new high score in Donkey Kong. I know we talked about that.
That was pretty cool.
1,218,000 points. Anything new in here? One person
Probably not.
in 5 raged Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada, allegedly sneaked back into his house in order to set fire to an apparent effort to collect insurance money.
Oh.
That fire raged Fort McMurray in Alberta. Like right now, there's a big fire that's been rolling through there.
Yeah.
So last week, this guy went back to make sure that his house got caught on fire because he didn't want them to, protect it. They caught him actually setting his house on fire while it was being surrounded by fire. That was not smart.
Good Lord.
I wonder if he'll get charged now for
Of
more
course
of the
he
fire.
should.
But I mean for the thing going out of control. Chinese say that they will walk on the moon by 2024. So Chinese are working on shooting somebody into outer space. Think they'll do it like with a big slingshot?
I don't
Like Wile E.
know.
Coyote always
I
did?
doubt it.
That's how I want to do it. I think we should figure out how to make that work. We got all these rockets and stuff that they build, but you start shooting people into outer space with a gigantic Wile E. Coyote slingshot. Now all of a sudden, I'll tune in to watch that launch. Hey, is it really more expensive to eat healthy? An agriculture department study found that most fruits and veggies and other healthy food cost less than high-fat sugar diets.
Whatever. They're so full of it.
This counters a common perception among many consumers, Heidi apparently is one of them, that it is cheaper to eat junk food than it is to eat nutritionally balanced meals. The government says, well, it all depends on how you measure the price. If you compare the price per calorie, as some previous researchers have, the higher calorie pastries and processed snacks might seem like a bargain compared with fruits and veggies.
Who compares price by calorie?
But comparing the cost of foods by weight or portion size shows that grains and vegetables and fruits and dairy are less expensive than most meats and high foods in high saturated fats, added sugars and salt. That means bananas, carrots, lettuce, and pinto beans are all less expensive than French fries, soft drinks, ice cream, and ground beef.
Okay, but not less expensive than the stuff that you're going to find at your
Convenience.
At your grocery store. So like you're not going to find your French fries, cooked French fries. They're saying French fries like you're going to a drive-through. Of course, it's not cheaper than going to a restaurant.
You've got
And
me
ground beef
confused.
is more expensive. We're not comparing apples to apples.
No.
Meat is way more expensive than
If you were comparing apples to apples, the comparison would be equal because they're both
okay,
apples.
what about a pound of apples compared to a bag of potato chips, which is more expensive? That's what I'm talking about. The junk that is readily available that people are grabbing and that they're buying.
This
or a
easy
box
squeezy.
of cookies or, those kinds of things.
You made a point, my sweet wife.
Right.
Calm down now and maybe have a seat. You got some veins bulging on your neck. It's just a discussion.
No, I don't.
It's Friday the 13th. I don't know. You're turning into a werewolf or a shopper beware
I'm
wolf.
just saying, if they're going to try and make a point, make a valid point.
There you
Compare the right stuff.
All right. Speaking of the right stuff, it's time to get to our strange law. In Portland, Maine, shoelaces must be tied while walking down the street or you could get a fine.
That's just smart.
Yeah, you should have them tied no matter where you happen to be. That's a strange law from Portland, Maine. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we're giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like with designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at winthisonline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at winthisonline.com.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Friday. It's a spooky Friday. It's Friday the 13th. So, I figured, hey, since it is Friday the 13th, let's talk to somebody kind of spooky. And she's not spooky, but the book that she just put out is. We've got Wendy Brotherlin, author of Freaks of Nature, on the phone with us. How you doing, Wendy?
I'm doing great.
Now, before doing your first official book, Freaks of Nature, you've had some other success in life. You've had a chance to be a writer for Nickelodeon. That's kind of cool, isn't it?
It was the most fantastic job to ever have. I loved working for Nickelodeon's Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was one of the first shows of its kind, a tween show, and the kids sat around a campfire and told scary stories. And it was a lot of fun to write these stories, come up with the spooky monster or whatever scary situation, and then to see it on air. And boy, we have a legion of fans. I meet people all the time who said, I loved watching Are You Afraid of the Dark when I was growing up. It's a wonderful feeling.
I remember this show, and my son was a big fan of that, and it is a really cool program. And I'm excited to hear a little more about your book, Freaks of Nature. What was the idea behind Freaks of Nature? Where did this come from?
Well, I've always been fascinated with the idea of having psychic powers and being able to just think something and have it happen physically or manifest in some way physically around you. telepathy, telekinesis, things like that. That always fascinated me, and I thought, wow, what an incredible power to have. So when I got older, I thought, I want to write a book about this, and that's where Freaks of Nature came from. It's set in the future, 18 years after a devastating global pandemic, and it leaves a generation of kids with incredible psychic abilities. So the story takes place with 7 of the teenagers that travel by aircraft to an unknown location, all of them in trouble with the authorities for escaping their assigned government detainment facilities. And one of them, a telepath named Bailey Chen, claims to have the means to escape. All the others have to do is convince her that they're worthy of freedom. So we see 5 different stories from these kids. It's a lot of fun. We've got adventure, romance, excitement, science fiction. It's a very fast read, and it's a fun read.
So as you were putting this together and you're building the different characters with these different abilities, what did you draw on to make that happen? Is that something that you just said, hey, I've got this idea based on this and this idea based on that, or where did that come from?
Well, a long time ago, I played Dungeons & Dragons. That's where a lot of these basic standard abilities came from, psychic powers like telepathy, telekinesis, things like that. And I also used elemental psychic powers like earth movers and wind walkers, water wielders. And then I created my own as well, with a side blade who uses force fields that they can manipulate around their body to form 3-dimensional plate mail armor and project bladed weapons that take on the color of their aura. And they're trained by the military, and they fight in the arena for the amusement of the upper echelons of society. So I had a lot of fun. I just kind of wanted to use the old and mix in some new, too, with ideas that I could put together for this book.
Visiting right now with Wendy Brotherlin. She's a screenwriter, and she's also got her own first book out. It's called Freaks of Nature. Now, since we're saying first book, does that mean you have other books in the works as well?
Well, it was designed as a series, so I'm hoping that my publisher, Spencer Hill Press, will be most eager to get the next installment on the shelves as soon as possible. But yes, it was conceived as a series of 4 books.
What have the reactions been to Freaks of Nature so far? Been pretty good?
Yes, very good. Middle school kids really like the book. Boys or girls, child who likes science fiction and adventure most definitely would like this book. I've heard a lot from reluctant readers as well who love this book because there are 5 short stories within the novel. So, you feel like you accomplished something after each little short story. And honestly, adults have really told me they like the book too. I've heard from a lot of adults who have read the book and are impressed with the emotional depth and thematic layering that they discover in the book. So I've had a really, really good reaction so far.
And it's not hard to find a copy. This is out in quite a few places already, isn't it?
Yes, it's at Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and also your local bookseller would be able to get hold of it very easily.
Well, Wendy, we really do appreciate you taking some time to chat with us, and I wish you the very best as you're moving forward with hopefully book number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to until you run out of ideas. I hope you.
Thank you.
I hope you get to do them all. Thank you again for chatting with us here on the John and Heidi Show.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
You do the same. Again, Wendy Brotherlin, screenwriter and now author of Freaks of Nature, and that again is available at your favorite local bookstore. You can also find it online at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Did I wake you?
Sorry.
What's going on over there? There were 4 Apollo flights before the first moon landing. So we just heard that China is planning on heading to the moon. I wonder how many trips they're going to make up there before they actually land and walk around. We did 4. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The only state whose flag still has a Union Jack on the flag is, do you know who?
England?
Wait a minute. England is not a state.
Oh,
the only state who has a Union Jack.
I didn't know we had any
Hawaii.
Union Jacks on.
Yeah, Hawaii still has it on their American flag.
Why would we?
It's on their state flag because they are proud of their heritage. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Jimmy Carter had solar panels installed on the White House roof. I wonder if they're still there.
I have no idea.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Harry S. Truman was the only president in the 20th century that did not have a college degree.
Really?
Yeah. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Titanic was only at sea for 4 days before sinking. So there you go. You learn a little something new each and every day with our fun facts for you on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that will help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Friday, the 13th day of May. Friday the 13th. Wow. It just seems weird, doesn't it?
I love Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
We should go do something.
Is it your
fun
lucky day?
tonight. Yes.
Let's see how lucky you get on this. I have the professional quiz, Heidi.
Uh-oh.
A quiz that consists of 4 questions that tell you whether or not you are qualified to be a professional. Number 1, how do you put a giraffe into a refrigerator?
Very carefully.
Okay. What is the answer?
How do you put a giraffe into a refrigerator? How do you fit one into a refrigerator?
How do you put a giraffe in a refrigerator? That's the question. And the answer is?
You can't.
The answer is open the refrigerator, put in the giraffe, and close the door. This
It won't
question
fit.
tests whether or not you are doing simple things in a complicated way.
It won't fit.
Okay, you're thinking of a full-size giraffe. Maybe it's a little tiny giraffe. All right. How do you put an elephant into a refrigerator?
Open the door, let the elephant in, and close the door.
It says open the refrigerator, put in the elephant, and shut the refrigerator. That is the incorrect answer. The correct answer is open the refrigerator, take out the giraffe, and put in the elephant, then
Oh
close
my
the door.
gosh. But what if it was a tiny one? They could
This
both fit in there.
is to test your foresight.
What if you wanted a menagerie of
This
animals in your
apparently is
refrigerator?
the zoo refrigerator. It's Noah's Ark refrigerator. Number 3 on the list, the Lion King is hosting an animal conference. All animals attend except one. Which animal does not attend, Heidi?
The lion.
No. Why the lion?
I don't know. He didn't want to go.
How are you even following along? The lion is the one doing the conference.
I'm so
The
tired.
answer is the elephant because he's still in the refrigerator. And the
Ah.
final question. Oh boy, so far you got 0 for 3. There is a river filled with crocodiles. How do you
These
cross
are
it?
so stupid.
There is a river filled with crocodiles.
Yes.
How do you cross it?
You just
Just go.
very carefully.
The answer is simple. Swim. All the crocodiles are at the meeting with the lion. This
Oh my
question
gosh.
tests your reasoning ability. This is something that professionals actually use, believe it or not, to see how outside of the box you think. If you got all of those right, that means you think on a completely higher level than Heidi. If you got all of those wrong, you and Heidi are probably sitting around together going, never really thought of that. I guess I don't
Those
quite
are
get it.
stupid. There are not even
yeah.
possibilities, those
hey,
questions.
You ask me the questions, and I'll give you the answers.
Yeah, because you just read them.
Oh, now what do I do? All right, coming up, how to pack a healthier lunch. That is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheeliter.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVWheeliter.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVWheeliter.com.
If you pack a lunch in a lunchbox, I got some tips for you on how to pack a healthier lunch. First of all, mix it up. Kids get tired of the same old, same old. Don't give them sandwiches. Give them plenty of variety. For example, mix in some strawberries and blueberries into a low-fat vanilla yogurt with servings of whole grain crackers on the side. Maybe even make a little trail mix with a cup of Cheerios, handful of nuts, keep some dried fruit in there, like raisins and cranberries, and boom, bang, you got a meal. Right there you go. What do you think of all that, Heidi?
That's
Sound good?
amazing.
Yeah, you weren't even listening, were you? You have no clue what I was just saying. Could have been saying, put some
I heard something about
strychnine.
trail mix.
Yeah, no. Next thing is keep it safe. Keep foods from spoiling by freezing a water bottle and popping that in with the lunch. By the time your child is ready to eat, most of it will be melted.
That's
And
a great idea.
the lunch is still cold. And finally, packing a healthier lunchbox. Make it fun. For young ones, use cookie cutters to create fun shapes out of a sandwich. Try slipping a few crackers or maybe a little I love you note into the lunchbox, and that same old cheese sandwich becomes a little more palatable. So there you
I
go.
still do that.
Yeah, our
Got a
daughter's
daughter
in high school,
and I still write little notes.
I
in
remember
her
one year
lunchbox.
you were sending a carameled apple and some cotton candy to school.
No,
or something.
no cotton candy.
And, circus peanuts.
No,
and
it was a caramel
Cracker
apple.
Jacks.
I sent it along with him for his field trip.
It just didn't seem like the right thing to send along to school. I was like, could you please, a normal snack? You're like, He likes carameled apples. I'm like, Heidi, he is going to get picked on. Like, they're going to pick on him so much. Now, what happened when he had his carameled apple?
He said all the other kids were jealous.
Yeah, they're jealous. They're like, well, I wish I had a caramel apple. I'm like, yeah, sure you do. All right, moving right along. Crime doesn't pay. We'll tell you why in a bit.
John and Heidi.
They say crime doesn't pay, Heidi. Mm-hmm. But once in a while, they are wrong. Liverpool, England's Carl Murphy was just 9, and he fell 40 feet through the roof of a building and suffered a massive skull fracture. As you might have guessed, Murphy sued the building's owner, despite the fact that he was trespassing at the time. Murphy alleged that if the site had better security fence to keep him out, he wouldn't have been injured. Luckily for the now 18-year-old Carl, he found a boneheaded judge who agreed and awarded him over $1 million in damages. Carl says after all that he's been through, he feels that he does deserve the money. Murphy, who's since done time for robbery and assault, says he plans to spend the money on a fancy car and a big house so he has a place to live with his mother when she gets out of jail.
Well, isn't that sweet?
Yeah, so crime did pay for that guy. He was breaking into the place, fell through the skylight, got hurt, and then sued the people.
See, I think that's so wrong.
I do,
and
too.
I've read that. I've
That
heard
was
that
in England.
many times, but I've even heard
I
that
know,
here.
But I'm saying this one was in England.
It's
so
ridiculous.
I don't understand how that works, but I guess somebody out there says, hey, that sounds like a case
No,
for me.
that is so wrong.
All
It's
right.
just not right.
I can
at
tell you,
all.
we have an amazing attorney, and you absolutely, positively, if you've got a good attorney, that's great. But I'm really glad that our attorney's not like that. They wouldn't do that
Right.
kind of
No,
stuff.
they would not.
All right. Coming up, we're going to talk about how hard of a worker he is. This is all on the way. Thanks for listening.
Do you like fun t-shirts? Our friends at 80s Tees have a bunch of fun designs from the movies and pop culture. This month, we're giving you a chance to win a $25 credit to buy the t-shirt you like, with designs from Star Wars, Superman, Ghostbusters, Deadpool, and hundreds of others. Sign up to win a $25 credit. Register for free right now at winthisonline.com. We will select 2 winners at the end of this month. You could be one of them, but only if you register at winthisonline.com.
Ladies want to find a good husband or boyfriend. You want to pick a workaholic. Heidi, how are you feeling about this so far? Am I a workaholic?
You are absolutely a workaholic.
I don't mean to be. I just love what I do. And if
Yeah.
people are going to pay me to talk, I'll keep talking all day.
That's true. You will.
Experts say hardworking men make the best loving partners. They say the ability to make a commitment to a job is definitely connected with the ability to be committed to a relationship. So if they're job hoppers, they might also be girlfriend hoppers.
Yeah, I would agree with
It
that.
is a myth that workplace men are cold and unfeeling, Heidi. Too concerned with making money? Probably not. Making insensitive marriage partners? Maybe not. A Harvard study of 500 men revealed that hardworking guys have the best mental health. They've achieved the highest levels of maturity. I don't know if I can say that with a straight face.
You're more mature than I am.
And they were shown to be extremely competent in personal relationships as well. And they make better lovers. Okay, I added that last time. I just wanted to see if Heidi would laugh. And she did. Wait a minute.
No, I was laughing that you added that for your own benefit. That's hilarious.
Anyway, they just say if you've got a workaholic, chances are that person is going to be a really good person in the relationship. I got to tell you this. My brother Jason is a workaholic as well, and he's been married a long, long time. Mm-hmm. Your dad's a workaholic. He's been married a long, long time. So I see that in many, many, many people that, that are overachievers. Now, I know that there are also some people that they put their work before their family, and that can be a bad thing. So guys, if you're doing that, if keep this in mind. If you have to choose between family and work, if family always loses and work always wins, sometime you're going to find out that
fall apart.
you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Now, there are going to be times where work wins and family doesn't, but don't make that all the time. And if you need to watch a movie to maybe find out what I'm talking about,
I love this movie.
there's a movie called Click, and I know it's Adam Sandler, and there are people who go, oh, I hate that guy. Best movie he ever did. If you're an Adam Sandler fan, you're probably yelling at the radio right now going, worst movie he ever did, because it wasn't like his other movies. But the movie is called Click, and I love it. And there are times where I'm overextending myself, and I'll come home, and this good-looking chick that I work with every day, she's my wife, she'll have that movie Click sitting on my pillow, and I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe I should probably dial things back with all the volunteer stuff and all the things I'm working on and be a part of home. All right.
That's right.
Coming up, we've got some good news that's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. And first of all, I got to say, I think we talked a little more today than we usually talk. I think we went over on almost every break. So
Did we?
I think so. I'm going to try to...
It seems like it just flew by.
I know. Days just cruising by. But I'm going to try to keep this one pretty succinct, which I think means short. 7-year-old Anya Ellick recently received a National Penmanship Contest Award. According to NPR, her win was especially notable because Anya was born with no hands.
Oh, wow.
And Anya does not use prosthesis. She doesn't have like fake hands that she uses. Holding the pencil between her wrists, the first grader at Greenbrier Christian Academy in Chesapeake, Virginia, forms neat, careful letters, earning her the Nicholas Maxim Special Award for Excellence in Manuscript Penmanship. I can barely say it, and
What
she
does that
won
say for the rest of these lazy, sloppy kids?
Look at my handwriting. I can't
know.
read it.
Our kids,
It's-
oh my
oh,
goodness.
man. Our son
Both
wrote a
of them,
note.
I cannot read anything
Our son wrote
they
a
write.
note because he was going to be gone. He left it on the kitchen counter. I came in and said, somebody kidnapped the kids. And you're like, what? I was like, read this. There's a ransom note. John, that's Troy's handwriting. It just says I'll be back in a few hours. I'm like, oh, I already called 911. I'll have to call him back. Okay, contest director Kathleen Wright says the judges were just stunned by the quality of Anya's printing. She could almost have her own font. She's such a good printer.
Wow. That's
And
fantastic.
again,
Good for her.
No hands. Look,
Yeah,
Mom,
that's
No
awesome.
hands. And look what she's doing. Still won a National Writing Award, which is just awesome. So hats off to you, and Anya, or Ann, A-N-A-Y-A. Would you say Anya?
Anya.
I think so, too.
I think so.
Well, Ms. Ellick, we'll call you. Good job. That's awesome. I've got a link to that on our Facebook page. If you're ever wondering what we're up to, you can go on there. All kinds of silliness on there. I always try to share something fun every day. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Friday. Thanks for listening.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And the bonus break is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. Let me repeat that. I'll go a little slower. It's WinThisOnline.com. That's all one big long word. You can just punch that into your computer and find some really neat prizes. Got some awesome stuff on there right now from 80stees.com, and that's a company that sells really cool retro, like nostalgic t-shirts and stuff. You can win a $25 credit to buy pretty much anything on their site. I was looking on there, and most of the stuff that's on there is under $25. Now, there's a few things that are a little over that, so if that's what you want, you could just pay the difference. But you've got a $25 credit for whatever you want. Also got a $50 credit from Zubaz. I love Zubaz. I wear Zubaz. They are so comfy. I'm getting some Zubaz shorts now.
Are you?
Yeah, I was looking through
Those
there.
are gonna
There's some
look
really cool ones.
fantastic.
Well, I think they'll look really good. I've got some fun stuff. You know, I was thinking about it this summer. I was like, what am I going to wear this summer? Zubaz shorts. Boom. It was like an epiphany. They'll look really good with my black and white checkered Vans
Yeah.
shoes.
But no, you can't wear socks, though.
Well, that's fine. I'll go with no socks.
Okay.
Either that or I'll get some Zubaz socks. Boom! I don't think they have those, but they should. If you'd like to know more, go to our website, winthisonline.com. British scientists have found a new gene, but they have no idea what it does. They're calling it the fat gene. It's called the FTO. Researchers say people who have 2 copies of this variation of the gene are on average 7 pounds heavier than people who don't have it. Still, while other genes are thought to be involved in appetite or calorie burning, researchers now say, we don't know what this gene is or what it does. So they're saying, hey, all we know is if you've got this, you tend to be a little chubbier. What are the odds that I have that gene? 150%. Hey, just as women always suspected, men really do have selective hearing, Heidi. communications professor at the University of California, Davis, found when a woman says something to a man, he interprets it to mean, to mean, let me try to read. I can't even read what you ladies are trying to say. He interprets it to mean what it would mean if he said it. There we go. Wrap my head around that one. For instance, when the woman says, it's getting late, men hear it's time to speed things up. To prevent confusion, the professor advises women to be more direct and blunt in their phrasing, and men should ask more questions. So when a woman says it's getting late, you should say, did you want to maybe go home, or what is it you're thinking? You know, he's thinking that it's getting late means, oh, it's time to speed things up. That might not be at all what you mean. So just say what you mean and mean what you say. That's probably the best advice there. Does that all make sense?
Sure.
Can I have the last 2 minutes of my life back? 2 Los Gatos, California police officers are being asked to, are going to be... Can I give up now? They're going to be taking quite a bit of ribbing at the donut shop after the officers arrested Justin Paul Gorman. Though an as yet unexplained series of events, Gorman managed to get behind the wheel of their police car and speed away. Ironically, the officers had just arrested him on auto theft.
Oh, wow.
So that was what that story was supposed to be about. They arrested him for auto theft, and then he stole their car. I'm going to make these, see what I do here. All the stuff that I hadn't gotten to, I highlighted in red, and it's hard to read. So I'm going to just make it all black. Hey, look at that. Black against white.
There you go.
The Agora newspaper report that an armed man was trying to rob an electronics store in Sao Paulo, Brazil. When the police arrived, he held 4 customers hostage and wouldn't do anything until he had a chance to talk to his mother. Cops let the man call his mommy on the phone to ask what to do, and she told him to release the hostages and surrender, which he did. A police spokesperson says, I've never seen anything like this before. A classic case of a mama's boy right up till the very end.
Wow. Well, at least he listened and didn't hurt anybody.
Did you notice that I read through that without making
He probably
no mistakes?
should have asked her before he went in and made that decision to begin with.
Probably. And our final story, a man sitting in a restaurant receives a call on his cell phone. Little thought or concern about what the other patrons might hear, he repeats the details and pickup points for an illegal drug deal. What this man did not know was the booth right next to him had
Cops.
2 police officers and a detective. They all worked in the Drug Enforcement Division. Since the deal was to go down in 4 hours, police had plenty of time to prepare for the bust. As a result, drug enforcement officers were able to bust 6 drug dealers, including a major dealer that undercover agents had been trying to capture for 5 years. The man who once talked on the cell phone now does all his talking behind bars. So there you go. That was not the smartest thing that he could have done. First of all, if you're doing something like that, selling drugs, dealing drugs, doing any of that, that's just not smart.
Not smart at
all.
all.
But you certainly don't do that while you're sitting in a booth at a restaurant shouting out loud next to a police officer. Just a really, really bad idea. Your bonus break, this is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com, and it's a good idea to go there and sign up. How much does it cost to open an account, Heidi?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's free. Zero. I mean, what could get better than winning a prize that you didn't even have to pay to enter the contest?
That's fantastic.
It's free. I mean, they do all the work for you. All you got to do, fill out the little form, click the button on the stuff that you want to win, and then everything else is done for you.
There you go.
And then if you share it with your friends, you can earn more credits to actually register for the things you want even more. So if you're going,
Then it improves your odds.
Yeah, so you got better odds by telling your friends about it. So
there you go.
I'm telling my friends right now, that's you. We love you. Go check it out at WinThisOnline.com, where the winning is just the beginning. That website again, WinThisOnline.com.